Hello everyone, welcome to the Ultimate Thunder Dragon Guide. Now, Thunder Dragons are often very aggressive and hard to deal with for your opponent, but often lack solid defenses themselves. One thing to note about Thunder Dragons is that they really go well into the extra deck. They can be rather flexible because of support options like Lightsworn and Lupine. However, because of the base kit of the main three Thunder Dragons, Thunder Dragon Hawk, Thunder Dragon Roar, and Thunder Dragon Dark, they can really abuse the graveyard and the banishment zone to get off some crazy combos with the extra deck. Now, I set up a list here containing pretty much all of the cards that you will see in a Thunder Dragon deck ever. Well, I mean, within reason. I'm sure I missed something. However, the first 7 cards here should be what you will always see within a Thunder Dragon deck. The Levy, Hawk, Dark, Roar, Duo, Lupine, Melody. Now, after Melody is cards that you might see. Now, these cards include support options like Raiden and Charge the Light Brigade, as well as the alternative Gold Sarcophagus, as well as other options that help further plays like Batteryman Solar and Thunder Dragon itself. Now, as there have been changes to the meta, the main skill that Thunder Dragons are using is about 5-6 of the time is Allured by Darkness. Now, what Allured by Darkness does, if you take 1800 life points of damage, you are able to draw on your draw phase Allured by Darkness, which is a spell card that allows you to draw 2 cards and banish 1 dark monster in your hand. However, if you do not have a dark monster in your hand, it will force you to remove your entire hand. Therefore, you're always going to want a dark type monster in your hand when using this, just as a forewarning. Now, there are some other options available as of now, like Fiend Farewell and even D-Draw. Fiend Farewell allows you to randomly mill any Fiend type monster from your deck, which usually you want it to be the Chaos Betrayer, as it has a graveyard effect to special summon itself by banishing a dark and a light type monster from the grave. But be careful with this one, as you may also mill a Sphere Kuriboh, which honestly isn't that bad considering it is still a dark type and can be used with the Levy, Duo, Chaos Betrayer, Chaos Sorcerer. It can be used for the effects of these monsters. Now, I would say that the 3 main benefits of using Thunder Dragons is that they're able to use Levy, go into the extra deck very well, as I have said earlier, and also they are very recyclable, as in if your opponent tries to stop you with, say, a Karma Cut, they may end up setting off your, say, a Thunder Dragon Roar's floating effect, which will allow it to special summon a monster from the deck. Maybe they just remove a bouncer from the field, and then its 2 Xyz materials go into the grave, and assuming it is your turn, you can go into, say, a Levy from there, using the resources in the grave. Thunder Dragons can be very hard to stop at times. Now, onto the first strength of being able to use Levy. Levy has 3 different effects depending on the resources used within the graveyard. Now, what Levy does is it will special summon itself by utilizing 3 light or dark monsters, and it will gain a certain on-summon effect depending on the certain attribute of the monsters used. If it is only light, you get to special summon a monster from the graveyard in defense position. If it is only dark, you get to shuffle a random card in your opponent's hand back into the deck, and if it is both light and dark, you get to non-target destroy 2 cards on the field. Now, I credit Thunder Dragons as having Levy as a main benefit because this card is so strong. It is a 3k beatstick that is level 8 that can special summon itself by banishing cards from your grave, which also follows up on your Thunder Dragon effects from being banished, like the Hawk, the Roar, and the Dark. Now, there are so many useful scenarios for Levy in here. It's just incredibly good. Now, their second big benefit from going into the extra deck can be propelled by using Lupine, by using Raiden, by using pretty much anything. Thunder Dragons can work with a lot of different cards. What Lupine does is when it is normal summon, you can banish a monster from your hand, banish a monster from your deck with the same type as that monster. Thunder Dragons are all thunder monsters, keep that in mind. So, when Lupine is normal summon, if you have a Dark or a Roar in your hand, when you normal summon the Lupine, you can banish that from your hand, banish the other. Say you got a Dark in your hand, you banish the Roar from your deck, and then you go into what I call the rank 6 combo, like the rank 6 combo. At turn 1, this is great for setting up into a Photon Bouncer or Force Focus, or at later turns can go into the M7. Now, not always do you need to go into the Lupine to get a rank 6 combo out of banishing the Roar or the Dark. However, Lupine is an incredibly reliable way to do so. Now, I already think I talked about Strength 3 enough, so let's get on to the rest of the decks you can slap in here. Now, Melody is a nice searcher for Levy, also discarding a card from your hand, like a Thunder Dragon, in order to fill the grave in order to special summon a duo or Levy. Sphere Karibo is a really nice card, especially since Allured by Darkness is an incredibly popular skill in Thundies right now. The Raiden in charge of the Light Brigade is an incredibly valuable engine for the Thunder Dragons. DD Crow can be used to interrupt plays, also as Dark type. Trifortress can be used defensively and as Dark type. Lancia can interrupt your opponent's plays, and it's a Light type. Now I know I'm saying type here, but I really mean attribute. Vajra can be used to clear your opponent's back row. Same with MST and Cosmic Cyclone. Thunder Dragon is another resource to slap 2 Thunder Dragons into the grave. Gold Sarco is an alternative to the Lightsworn engine. Temperance and Veil, like Sphere, can be used to protect yourself so that you can get an Allured by Darkness off. Sorcerer and Betrayer are often used in the Fiend for World decks, as well as the Batteryman Solar. Caius is a level 6 that banishes a card on the board. Book of Moon is an all-around really good card. Moises Wins, that's a Harpy counter. And we have Lila, another target for Charge of Light Brigade. Now, some advice for Thunder Dragons is that I would not fill it with too many spells or traps, at least in the Lightsworn engine, because you are gonna be milling cards. And you do not want to mill too many spells or traps, otherwise you cannot get off Levy or Duo plays. Now, what I set up here is in the extra deck. These are the cards that you will pretty much always see in the extra deck. We have Vermilion Dragon Mech, we have Erratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Eliopolis, we have Constellar Ptolemy M7, and we have Photon Bouncer. Now, Bouncer and M7 I mentioned earlier, that is to go with the rank 6 combo with the Roar Dark Hawk. Bouncer is great for protecting your board, and M7 is great for both continuing your plays and removing important monsters from your opponent's side of the board. And Overlord just blows up their field. Now, in the side deck, this really isn't a side deck, this is just extra deck monsters. These are monsters that aren't always required in the extra deck, however, some can be incredibly helpful. So for my picks, I put Cyber/Harpy Lady or any level 8 Synchro, Diamond Direwolf to remove Necro Valley, Onimaru to continue some offense and it cannot be destroyed by card effects, Xenophon so that your opponent cannot special summon from the grave, Volcasaurus to lay down some pressure, Gaia Dragon in case you're playing Volcasaurus, Force Focus as an alternative to Bouncer, and Malevolent Sin because it's a spider. Now, something I would like to talk about is what I call Dark Mistimes. What Dark Mistimes are is when you hold on to your Thunder Dragon Dark, you play it when a win effect in a card has been played, and you play the Thunder Dragon Dark, therefore interrupting the win condition. Now, this may not be something you already know about. If you do not know about it, I would look it up. It's good to know. But basically, you use the toggle button. In order to get the toggle button enabled, you'll need to go ahead, go to Settings, go to the Dual tab, scroll down, and you'll see Activation Confirmation. You'll want to swap that from Auto or Tap or whatever you have it on. You'll want it to be on the toggle button selection. Now, once you have the toggle button selection, there will be a button at the bottom left of your main screen. Now, when you have a dark in your hand, you'll want to toggle that to on, and then when say a Gaga sister, as in this clip shows, is summoned, the sister has a win condition effect. Now, when that sister is summoned, you'll want to bring out the Dark before the Sister's effect activates, which is directly on the summon. Now you can only do this with the on toggle button. I have had the auto toggle on for the longest time until swapping it, and this actually makes Dark pretty valuable. Sometimes you'll hold on to your Dark and not use its effect the previous turn just to use it on the next turn. It all depends on the conditions, it all just depends. I've blocked searches before, I've blocked bounces, I've blocked plenty of things. Thunder Dragon Dark can be used to interrupt plenty of decks. You can use it to interrupt Harpies, you can use it to interrupt Onomats. I'm pretty sure you can even interrupt other Thunder Dragons. Now I'm not even too sure on that last one, but hey, the possibilities are there. Now with Thunder Dragons, it is really important to adapt and play on the go. It really takes some experience to get used to playing into the extra deck with goofy hands. And Thunder Dragons are also very flexible with their builds. You will see plenty of decks that are very different from each other. You may see some very prominent variations from here and there, but you can pretty much turn this into anything. Now don't just take my word for it. Go ahead and experiment. Play Thunder Dragons, they are a very fun deck. And if you think I've missed something, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that will be it for today. Y'all have a good one. Peace.